Welcome back to News Geelong as we turn to the action-packed world of Geelong sport and our own happy, smiling flying hawk, Nathan Curry. Good evening, Nathan.
Thanks very much, Rollo. Well, while the Cats are out of the NAB Cup for season 2011, there is still plenty of news happening down at the Cattery. So News Geelong caught up with football manager Neil Balme to ask him a few questions. Now, Balme, how strong will the team be that plays Carlton on the weekend?
Oh, we've always wanted to try and put as many on the track in the last game that are going to be around for round one, but there's a few probably not going to be quite ready, but we'll certainly be a bit stronger than we've been the last 2 weeks. Jimmy should play, Joel Corey should play, I think Moon should be right. I think Chappie won't quite get up for this one, but he should be right for round one. Burnsy won't play this week, his foot's a bit sore, but he should be okay. I think we said yesterday Motts will miss quite a few weeks, which is a bit disappointing. Will you get permission to play some of the players who need match time in the VFL next week? Yeah, we're considering what we're going to do there. There's a bit of work in it, but if there is a game, which is some chance there will be, we'll ask for permission to play some of the AFL listed guys if necessary, and that may well include Chappie. How is the club shaping up this pre-season compared to others? Oh, we're really pleased with the work that the boys have done, but I think if you asked 16 other clubs, they'd all say the same. Because you have to progress every pre-season nowadays. That's the way it is. And we're going really well, but we've hit a few hurdles in terms of injury since the games have started, but I guess that's to be expected. I mean, you really have to get to the edge, and if you get to the edge you might get some injuries. We had some injuries that have been collision injuries and a few other soft tissue as well. So we're in reasonable shape. We're very pleased with the pre-season, but can't wait for round one now, so there's a few weeks to go for a bit more preparation there. Will you be ultra conservative with Chappie given he has had some hamstring problems? Oh no, he's had a pretty solid pre-season. No, he's fine. Would have preferred that he had a couple of games to now, but he's hadn't been quite right to do that, so he's not far away. So again, with all of them, when they start to get a lot of games in them, like he has and Joel Corey, etc., you've got to be a little bit careful of them. You can't just grind them into the ground. But those guys love playing, so they'll play much more often than they don't. Did the big loss to Port Adelaide last week hurt the confidence of the young boys? Oh, I wasn't there, so I didn't see it all, but I think the response to it has been we really played pretty poorly in the first half, but we did have a lot of young kids in, so you never take too much notice of the actual result of a NAB Cup challenge or a NAB challenge, but you do take notice of how you played, and we were pretty disappointed with the way we played. But it was a bit difficult. We didn't take a big squad and we lost a couple of blokes early, and that really put an enormous amount of pressure on in terms of being able to rotate the players, which we're trying to do. So that made it a lot harder for them. So I think the result probably looked worse than it was. But yeah, you don't take too much into account. But it certainly wasn't a good outcome. We would have rather have played a lot better. Is Steve Motlop cursing his luck at the moment? Oh, he would be, but I mean, that's just the way of it. He's a bit sore in the, I think it's syndesmosis or whatever you call that. So that's that little thing at the top of the ankle, which sometimes takes a while. But he'll be fine. Is there a change of game plan that might be affecting the boys? Oh, it's only a marginal change, but there's certainly some changes. But footy changes even if you don't, so that there will be changes to the way the game is. So they're going to have to be ready to adapt to it. So there'll be a little bit of that. But it ain't an easy game. It's not as easy as it looks, I don't think. So they've got to really be mentally right on to make sure they play well. So. Are you pleased with where Alan Christensen is at the moment? We're really quite pleased with the way he's going. He's a good little player. He knows how to play. We're really quite pleased with him, so he'll get an opportunity at some stage. The challenges we're going to have is we need to play all of those kids, but you still need to pick your best side every week to give you the best chance of winning. But then how do you integrate those young blokes? That's the challenge we've got. But we certainly will, and no one will get a game that they don't deserve. But we do have to make a very proactive move to get those kids into play. We'd love to play Christensen, we'd love to play Menzel, Motlop's hurt himself obviously, and a few of those other young kids as well. We're really keen to play, so I'm sure that will happen. You recently went to the NFL Draft Combine, which is a little like our draft camp. Did you learn anything from that experience? Oh, the Combine itself is not dissimilar to us. It's they got a lot more players, and it's probably a bit more specific in what they do because each of their particular line players do some really specific work where we try and develop much more general sorts of players. So it's different from that point of view, but it was really You know, they did it really professionally. It was really good to see what they did. But probably the most important part was, you know, having a bit of access to their people, their personnel at their clubs to find out what they do and how they cope with recruiting, the way they recruit and free agency and all that sort of stuff. So that was probably the thing we got out of it more than anything else. But it was good to see. Really pretty exciting stuff. We wouldn't mind being able to pick from a few of those blokes they churn out, and then they're all a bit older than our boys at the draft camp. They're all 21, 22, but some pretty impressive athletes there. Yeah, it says that, you know, it will change the way we do business a little bit. So it was interesting to see how they do cope with it. So we'll just have to see how it unfolds with us. But it will change a little bit the way we do it. We tend to have been pretty much bring kids in, develop them, only bring in traded players every now and again, but I think it might be a little bit more prevalent now. If you lose players you don't expect to lose, you're going to have to replace them, so you'll have to get into that market a bit more. So I think we have to understand how that works.
Finally, Barmy, what are your thoughts on Brendan Favola going to Casey Scorpions in 2011? Look,
it's an interesting one because on the surface we say we all care that we do help Fev to rehabilitate himself. I'm not quite sure what his circumstances are, but you read so much of it in the media that obviously he needs a bit of help. To be able to play footy is a very important thing for him. So from that point of view, it's a good thing. Now, whether you'd want him in your VFL program or not, in terms of developing kids and having him there, that's another issue, not our issue, fortunately. But I'm really pleased to see that he's at least going to be given an opportunity to give himself a chance to get back into gear. I must admit we didn't consider it, but we probably wouldn't. We have probably a different idea and a program to that. We don't promote our side as one that needs to, you know, get people in the door and all that sort of stuff. It's more a pure development area for our kids and an opportunity for, more than anything else, some of the local kids to play as well. So we're probably not. That's probably not. We're not in the position to recruit someone like a Fev, I wouldn't think. But we hadn't thought about it, and it's not going to matter now because it looks like he's going somewhere else.
Thanks for your time there, Barmy, and good luck to the Cats on Saturday when they take on Carlton. That's it for sport this week and for me as well. I'll be back next Wednesday night with plenty more to talk about. But until then, it's back to you, Rollo.
Thank you, Nathan. Well done, and have a good weekend. And now the latest weather information for the coming week in and around Geelong and District. A very good evening to our own sparkling Lani Salathiel. Good evening, Lani.
Thank you, Graham. As the mild weather continues in and around Geelong, let's look at the week ahead. For tomorrow, Saturday will start with a mostly sunny morning, followed by isolated showers in the afternoon and evening with a top of 29. For Sunday will be a cloudy day with some scattered showers around Geelong, easing to a chance of light showers during the afternoon with a top temperature expected to be 23. To start off next week on Monday, we'll see areas of drizzle during the morning and then sunny in the afternoon, a top of 20. For Tuesday, we can expect areas of morning fog clearing to a sunny afternoon and a maximum of 25. And Wednesday will be a sunny day with a top of 23. Today, after the patchy fog and drizzle this morning, was partly cloudy and a top temperature of 24. And that's the weather for tonight. Enjoy the rest of your evening and weekend, and it's back to you, Graham.
Thank you, Lani. Have a good weekend, and we'll catch up with you next Wednesday evening. And thank you for being with us on News Geelong this Friday evening. Congratulations, Claire and Josh, on the healthy arrival of 9-pound Hazel Isabella. Remember, take your time and smell the flowers. From all the team at News Geelong, have a pleasant evening, a safe and enjoyable weekend, and a very good night.